Hey guys, got another knife review. What you see before you is the relatively new Microtech whale shark. Now this is originally a Jeremy Lau design, I believe, and it's a very unique looking blade. It's much different than your typical knife, much different form factor. Kind of got a curvature to the entire knife. It's got a rounded, almost semicircle shape to it, and this is probably the most artistic piece I have. It's just a really unique looking, pretty awesome designed knife in my opinion. So I just picked this up a couple days ago. It's pretty much what I expected it to be. It's quite large. It's actually larger than I expected. But I mean, it's just really cool. So let's begin here with the blade. You have a very large blade on this knife. It's kind of not proportional to the handle. I mean, just the fact that the handle is pretty thin and the blade is just so huge and bulky, it just makes the blade look, enormous. Which, I mean, in relation to the handle, it really is. But I actually like that. I like having a lot of blade. And here you definitely have it. So you can see here you have the Microtech stamp on the blade. You have whale shark. This is serial number 351. You can see the birth date there. This was actually made this month of this year. You can see down here you have the S30V or S35VN blade steel. Now that's basically the new blade steel that Microtech's been using for all their knives lately. This is a flipper design, meaning obviously that in order to actuate the blade you got a flipper. Now that therein is my largest gripe with this knife. The flipper is so not smooth. I mean, I don't know if it's just this model. Maybe they have the pivot a little bit too tight, but the flipper is incredibly, or the knife in general, it's pretty difficult to actuate. You need to definitely put in some wrist action every single time. You can even hold the thing upside down, and generally with a flipper, if you hold it upside down, the blade will come out pretty easily without any wrist movement. While I'm on the fact, let me point out a couple other things that I kind of am not liking or not digging about this knife. Another thing has to do with the action as well. It is really gritty. I mean, it just really not too smooth. And right here it kind of has like a half step. I guess that probably has to do with the detent ball, but you can just see how choppy this thing is. I don't know what the deal is, but you just see how it kind of pauses and goes. Really the only place where it's relatively smooth is down here. Then anything past here, right there is that big detent, so that's not smooth, and anything past that is really choppy and gritty. So obviously that's another reason that it's not too smooth or easy to flip out. But I don't know, maybe I'll see if that'll loosen up over time. I really wish Microtech, even though these things do look cool, these screws, it's really a pain in the ass, because when you have a blade that does need some cleaning or lubing, you can't do it without getting one of these proprietary drivers that they charge you an arm and a leg for. You could pay almost as much as the knife for a freaking screwdriver to take care of it. And also, the blade is essentially incapable of being deployed in any other manner other than the flipper. The thumb stud is pretty much useless. I've been able to maybe get it out once or twice with dozens of attempts. So basically, at least with the one I have, do not expect to be able to use that thumb stud, which I mean is fine because it is a flipper, so you're supposed to use the flipper. Yeah, so the thumb stud's kind of useless. My lockup on this knife is extremely late. I mean extremely late. This is actually, right here is pretty early. If I you know, flip this out pretty decently hard, it'll go over even further. And I can actually, with just minor pressure if I wanted, I can push this lock bar almost all the way over to the handle scale over there. I can get it probably within a couple millimeters without even trying. So you know, that's something I really dislike about this particular whale shark, is that the lockup is extremely late, and depending upon how it wears, it's only going to get worse. But I mean, if it does get to the point where, you know, it's really annoying, I guess I could just send it to Microtech. And another thing that's a little bit annoying is the fact that it's pretty difficult to disengage the lock because there isn't really a dedicated cutout for it, and you know, it's just weird angles all around trying to get to the lock bar there. You kind of just have to push your thumb in there and catch it with the meat of your thumb, and then even then it's pretty difficult. There's a lot of pressure, and you have to definitely make sure you're not touching the frame here, or the lock bar here, when you're trying to disengage it, because it'll be extremely difficult to disengage. So I guess that's quite a bit of negatives, but I mean, I honestly don't look at this knife really in a negative light. I think there's more positives than negatives. Like for instance, what I said, you know, the shape of the knife is just incredible. I love the design. It's got these nice 3D textured G10 handles, which are really nice. Sorry, my camera's not focusing right. And over on this side, it just really shines. You can see, you know, how awesome the design is here. You have this really nicely shaped stainless steel pocket clip. Yeah, I do wish it was titanium, but I mean, whatever. The only problem with the pocket clip is, I think if you watch Orimoto's video, he pointed it out. The tip of the clip here is relatively pointy and sticks up to a pretty high degree. Or if you have a tight grip on it right here, it does kind of jab into your palm pretty badly. But I mean, I don't know, it's alright. Just, you know, don't hold it in a manner in which it's going to do that, and it shouldn't be that much of a problem. I guess it's just, you know, design over function for that, which is fine with me, because this is, to me, this is a designer piece really. It's not so much a user, so that's alright with me. Another unique feature here is the really nicely designed and shaped titanium backspacer here. You can see it's just milled real nice. You have kind of you know, different textures, or not textures, but different millings as you're going from the front to the back. It kind of got large and it narrows, and there's sort of a little flow through on each side. And then it comes down to an end here where you have a little titanium, or not titanium, it's sorry, a lanyard hole. You don't have any liners in this knife. You basically just have the G10, and you have this subframe lock, they call it, because it's not a traditional frame lock in that it's actually part of the frame. It's sort of a just an attachment to the scale. It's actually a piece of titanium that is screwed into the pocket clip here through the G10, and that just acts as the actual lock bar. It has a stainless steel insert here on the end to kind of help you know, reduce wear. That way you'll have steel to steel contact instead of steel to titanium. So in theory that'll help your lockup over time, but obviously with mine it's really a goner from the beginning. But in theory that should be a good thing for most of the knives. Since the handle is all G10, you don't have traditional kind of stop, you know, places for the thumb studs to rest. So what they did was they actually put a couple stainless steel inserts into the G10 just to act as your blade stop here, which is pretty unique. I haven't seen that done before, and it cuts down on the weight because, you know, it's just utilizing the G10 and tiny pieces of stainless steel here for the lockup. Then you also have that here on the bottom for when it's closed. You have the thumb stud come into contact with a little stainless steel piece here on the G10, and then, you know, with the subframe lock here. So I mean, that's pretty much the ins and outs of the knife. The grip, it's a little weird. I mean, I'm gonna be honest, I guess it's comfortable, but it's just it's so different from anything I've felt before that, you know, it's a little weird getting used to. I kind of wish there was more of a dedicated choil here, or I'd really like for them to have put a choil up front. I mean, you could kind of use this as a choil, I guess, but it's not shaped to be a dedicated choil. But that would be really nice. That'd give you a nice grip right there. I mean, you still can use it, but you just have to be careful because the edge is right here. Here you can see the jimping on the knife. I kind of have a small complaint about the jimping as well. It is nice and aggressive, but the problem I have with it is that in the center of the run of jimping, where you're going to get the most traction, they put they kind of break the jimping. So when you put your thumb down, you have this large run in the center that's not jimped. They should have, you know, put a line through there to make it a little bit more textured. So to me, that kind of breaks the functionality of the jimping, because really the only functional part is this small run back here and this small run up here. You know, if you put your thumb in the middle, it kind of just slides because you have this big smooth piece. It would have been nice if they had just kept that run constant all the way throughout. Well, I forgot to mention, this is the stone-washed version. I'm sure you've come to see that by now. I just want to give you a quick size comparison here for the Microtech Whale Shark. Here you have it next to a Strider SNG. You can see it's pretty much the same size. The Whale Shark might be, I don't know, maybe 1/4 of an inch longer. Here you have a large Sebenza. The Whale Shark's probably about 3/4 of an inch longer. And here you have a newly acquired DPX Hess 2. The Whale Shark's probably about an inch longer than that. So it is a pretty big knife, and you can just see here how enormous the blade is compared to the Strider. Just vertically, it's a really huge blade. It reminds me a lot of like a chef's, you know, like a chopper. It's got a unique blade shape that I really like. So anyways, there's a quick size comparison. Alright, well that's pretty much it. Again, this is the Microtech Whale Shark. I thank you for watching, and please like the video and subscribe to my channel.